My goddess Palki Sharma has recently started massively spreading rumors and smearing China again. This venomous snake is exactly as I predicted 2 months ago and finds it hard to change its nature. A few months ago, she was loudly advocating that China and India join hands to fight American hegemony. At that time, I made a video mocking her because a two-headed snake is not worth trusting. Her master, the great priest Modi, is preparing to surrender to the United States and beg Trump for forgiveness. At the same time, Modi is begging his former master Russia for shelter and looking for Putin to be his backer. Although I do not think Russia can provide India with any real security guarantees or technical support, I understand Modi's decision because what he wants to do is not to develop or advance the country of India. What he wants is bragging capital so he can continue to deceive votes and stay in power. Therefore, the BJP media playbook cannot be abandoned. As long as there is a chance to smear Pakistan and China, they will do their utmost. Palki released a video accusing China of dumping cars on the world. In 2025, China is expected to export 6.5 million vehicles. The scary part is that 4.3 million of them are traditional fuel cars, and China's traditional car production lines still maintain an annual capacity of 30 million vehicles. In order to digest the excess capacity, China has begun dumping cars all over the world. This has become a global topic. In the program, Palki abandoned her usual superior look as if the audience owed her $5 million and disguised herself as a rational analyst. Yet a clown remains a clown. I do not know how Indian schools educate their students or why Indian news media so often spread rumors, and always low-level ones at that. First of all, the term overcapacity is nothing but a biased phrase invented by Western politicians to smear China. They can use this word against China today, and tomorrow they will use it against any rising developing country to maintain their own dominant industrial position. Let me ask this. Before China became the world's factory, Chinese people drove German cars and used Japanese televisions and cameras and American computers and operating systems. Did Chinese people ever say those countries were dumping products in China? Why did Chinese people buy foreign brands? China could already produce cars in the 1950s, so why did ordinary people pay high prices for German cars? The reason was neither German marketing nor Japanese television dumping. The reason was simply that there were no products on the market with better performance-to-price ratio. Chinese people never blame their own problems on other countries. Since German cars and Japanese televisions and cameras and American computers and operating systems were better, we learned from Germany and Japan and the United States. Now China has strong competitiveness in the automobile industry. We can produce our own televisions. The action camera sector is completely dominated by China. China has its own computers and mobile phones and operating systems and large AI models. When Western countries discovered they could no longer compete with Chinese people, they came up with the concept of overcapacity. Let me ask you this. YouTube has billions of viewers. Does India have its own video platform? Palki, why do you not choose an Indian platform to release your programs? Is it because YouTube has overcapacity? Is it because India lacks the ability to provide such a good platform? Do you know why India lacks the ability to provide such a good platform? Because the Indian media has shaped India into a foolish world where smart people cannot survive. They can only flee to the United States to write code. Chinese people managed to create TikTok, so why can you not develop something like poop shit? As for the claim that 2/3 of China's 6.5 million exported cars are fuel vehicles, that is perfectly normal. New energy vehicles do not appear out of thin air. They are transformed from traditional automobile production lines. Apart from the power system, there is essentially no difference between electric cars and traditional cars, and production capacity can be shared. China has plenty of charging stations and perfect infrastructure, so more people buy electric cars. Abroad, the infrastructure is incomplete and there are not enough charging stations, so people prefer fuel cars or hybrids. Is this not decided by the market? What is there to be surprised about? If your Bharat Empire launched cow dung cars, they could only become popular in India because other countries do not have that much cow dung, right? Palki also mentioned that China's electric vehicle industry is strong because of huge government subsidies. The United States once subsidized electric cars at high intensity too, and the European Union did similar things. Why then are their electric vehicle industries not strong? The Bharat Empire can also subsidize its electric vehicle industry. Can you subsidize your way to an electric vehicle industry as powerful as China's? Also, do you realize you contradicted yourself in the same video? If China's electric vehicle industry relies on government subsidies, then why are two-thirds of its exported cars fuel vehicles? How do you explain that China's fuel cars also have very strong competitiveness? Moreover, you seem to have forgotten that the international car market has long been ruled by Japan and Germany. Did your Indian media ever regularly report and accuse those two countries of overcapacity? Your jealousy of China has deformed your thinking. Whenever developed countries throw out a narrative to restrict the rise of developing countries, and that narrative happens to hit China, you become ecstatic and rush to report it and follow the trend. In fact, for those countries, neither China's rise nor India's rise is acceptable. They also frequently make statements unfavorable to India. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent publicly said India is not important and is not a major global player. Why do you not make a whole episode dedicated to reporting that? Your Indian son-in-law Vance, who has a huge bunch of Indian relatives, still wants to repay his master Trump by accusing Google and Microsoft of hiring too many Indians, which led Trump to tighten H-1B visas. Why do you not make a whole episode dedicated to reporting that? China has automobile overcapacity, while you Indians have population overcapacity. Your immigrants have integrated into countries all over the world and have already caused serious social problems. That is the real global topic. If you have the energy to criticize Chinese people for dumping cars, why do you not reflect on why you dump population and all kinds of uncivilized behavior on the world?